You want answers?
What's that going to set up?
We gotta go to work.
It's the Strat Attack Show. But we're always wondering what the next two is.
Holy shnikes, it worked.
That's something I want to know about.
What's your name, scumbag?
Strat Attack Show.
We're on a mission from God.
Here's Rob Smith.
Hello everyone, I'm Rob Smith, this is Smith in the Black, and it's Tuesday. We hop in the urban assault vehicle and see what's going on. So, we got, as I talked about, at the end of last month, even though we got clobbered last month, but you can see these 3 months here are really a range. And there's a lot of inside months that could still break to the downside, which is happening. So, you've seen a lot of earnings disasters, but we always want to break it down from the month or sometimes the year and the quarter, and we know there's a bunch of problems over there. But to see, how many twos are breaking in either direction, and especially if you have the inside consolidation, much like this 3 months here, and now breaking lower. So one of the things we look at QQQ, and I drew this triangle here, the broadening formation, the higher highs and the lower lows. Back here at the end of 2020 into 2021, and now you can see hits the line right to it. So the question is, are we going to come smashing through this thing, all right? Because when you have something like this and you test the upside, then you come back all the way through, oftentimes you get a move like that to the downside, right? But so right now we're trying to hold Qs on the daily, go inside on the day. So we'll see, because we know we had a slight higher high here and a lower low. And now just some exhaustion risk as you're going into these lows. So it doesn't mean tomorrow would have to break and get crushed. But we want to be aware of that, because if we go to the yearly QQQ, here is where we go 2-2 reversal, which we did yesterday, but we popped back up. So 297.45 for the rest of the year is going to be very important in QQQ. Inside day there for now. If you go back to those monthlies, a couple big boys that we were worried about, Apple inside month, and it's not totally getting killed, but here below 155.38, you're there. It's an inside month to the downside, but like a lot of these things, you have these sideways months and months and months, all this kind of stuff. So the question is, can you break all this stuff and then stay down there? If you go to Microsoft, here's those 3 months again, and an inside month to the downside. So if as long as it's below all this kind of stuff, you're an inside month to the downside. Here's the mother bar low, 270. That's where you're sitting right there. So you want to know about that level for Microsoft. And when you're talking about Apple and Microsoft, you want to know about XLK. And XLK was not inside because they're heavily weighted over there, but you can see once again these 3 months. So as long as it's below this, 139.75, you got some potential problems, right? So once again, if they can reclaim these levels, that's a good thing. But right now they're not doing that. So TTD inside month to the downside and getting clobbered again after earnings. So the good thing about a lot of these things getting clobbered is that they are into exhaustion risk. Once this breaks that, we're just looking to take this. So that was a break of 69. And we're looking to break this, 51.18. We did it handily so, and now earnings came out, and so far so bad. If we go to net, and net, this is a beautiful 2-2 reversal here on the monthly. Then down here, and you see all these guys stuck in here 4 months. So the thing is, when you have a big move like this, then the consolidation, oftentimes you get another big move like that. It's called a measured move. Inside months to the downside, outside. Remember, it's inside, outside, inside. So whenever you see that pattern, the 1-3-1, and then the next 2, they had the consolidation. They tried to take it up. They tried to take it down. Then this is another consolidation, and then the big boys say, boom, down she goes. So far, net going to be on that list for inside month and down. If you go to snow, and snow has just been declining and declining. But once again, exhaustion risk by going into the low. So when you have this inside bar, we're simply looking to take this out, which it did, but sometimes they go further than you thought, and so we'll keep an eye on that as well. If we go to LVS, and another inside month to the downside, it's hitting magnitude by taking that out, so that's somewhat good. But if we also go back to that macro stuff, And LVS is inside year to the downside, right? And that's what we want to know about, because you can see all of this kind of stuck in here, but we can call that, like, this is a beautiful one, isn't that? Look at that. Anyway, if, you know, we're looking at a lot of these pandemic names because we knew a lot of them were going to go inside for the year. That's why for a year we said see in 2022, and that's going to have you like your Boeing. We knew that was going to be an inside year. For sure, you're not taking this thing out, right? And now you've got that inside year to the downside, and we've known about this for a year and saying, well, once all these pandemic names go inside on the year, you know, is the recovery on its way, or are we going to sink again? And so far, most of them are taking back out those lows, and that's potentially pretty bad. So if we go to Moderna, and Moderna not getting killed just yet, but you do have that 3-1, right? And anytime you have that, you're dealing with a broadening formation here. So down here, if it starts dropping, we're looking to take out 122.01. Right now, just kind of sitting there. We'll see how that goes. If we go to D-Dog, and we've seen, you know, any of these high flyer guys just getting destroyed, and it's been a lot lower. So you see this area in here where you have the slight higher high and the slight lower low. So let's draw that for you. And now back into this old broadening formation here, right? And an inside month to the downside. So D-Dog, as we saw the Qs coming all the way back down to here. So we'll see how that goes. Right now, D-Dog on the ropes. If you go to eBay, inside month to the downside, coming down, and today, inside day. So we'll see how that goes going forward. Stuck in this stuff. You can see these two bars stuck in here, but it's so far holding that gap down. So, but we'll see. We got an inside day for eBay. If you go to Nike, and Nike, inside month to the downside, right? Still coming back to this previous range. Right, but you hit magnitude. That's the good part, you know. So, but for right now, still going. If we go to ZM, oh boy, inside month to the downside again, and ZM once again on your macro list on a yearly basis. That's an inside month. That's an inside year to the downside. Below 174.66, trading 90.68, and inside month to the downside. The good thing is you're going into new lower lows, so you got some exhaustion risk, but it's been a rough one for old ZM. If we go to Docu, and Docu, inside month to the downside, after getting clobbered in here, and just still stair-stepping its way down. It did hit magnitude, that's good, but like a lot of these tech stocks and stuff, the yearly 2 up, 2 down reversal, pounded, right? And we've seen this just annihilate things, and that's why it's important to keep an eye on these Qs. If these Qs start going heavily down, when people think, oh, it's down too much, I'm like, this might be warming up. It's just sitting on that 2-2 reversal line, right? If you go to BILL, and BILL, that was a nice reversal off the highs, 2-2. And then once again, these 3 months, 4 months, I could say, right here. And then the inside month and down, boom, all right? So you did hit the magnitude, but that's still so far in force. If we go to URI, URI just takes these guys out slightly, right? So let's try and stay down this, get down back below here, 286.86, right? And so you pop back up above that, but would be inside month to the downside. So, but that's where you'd want to stay if you get below all these guys, right, in your range. If you go to Teradyne, and Teradyne, we knew about here, it was also the 1, 3, 1, boom. The magnitude was only to take these guys out, which it did, so it's not totally falling apart, but we want to know about that going forward, so long as it stays below here and here, right, this 104.32, so we'll see how that goes. If we go to Emerson Electric, you can see, look at this range. It's been sitting here forever. right? Trying to see what it's going to do. Can it reclaim all this? No. Inside month to the downside, so you want to go here to the lows of this, 87.62 or 86.72, and stay below that so you can get this consolidation. You don't have that big of a measured move of this, but in this environment, you never know how bad they're going to hit them. If you go to KSS, once again, 1, 3, 1, boom, right? Do we look for that? We do. But the good thing for this is 4 months stuck in this range. It hasn't taken this bar out. So you did take these guys out, but you want to really stay below here, 50.97, to try and get out of this mother bar and hopefully take all this kind of stuff out. Otherwise, it just goes triangling back up. If you go to Uber, inside month and down. Here, just walking her back down. You guys making any money? No. So you do have some exhaustion risk because you take all these guys out. But still handling that, and you go, tells you to look at lift. Was not. But you can see these ranges here. These things have already been dropping. And that's what I'm talking like pandemic names. Now, coming down here, potential all-time lows, so you can always watch those two together. If we go to Vive been coming down here too, and you can see they were just taking the wind out of everybody's sails here in any type of tech. 2 up, 2 down, and that's it. No higher highs all the way down. Inside month and down, the best thing is you took out exhaustion risk. 166.47, you'd want to stay below that. If you go to American Express, here, inside month to the downside, still have some room to take the mother bar out here, 155.72. So obviously you can watch those with the financials and FAS. Here, still having problems here, and they really chopped them up into here and still coming down, so we'll see. If we go to the memes, maybe it's all over finally. Game stunk. 1, 3, 1, looking to take this out. 77.58, and that's all she wrote. And, well, that was fun while it lasted, wasn't it? Because you got AMC here with the 1, 3, 1, and taking these guys out today, right? So we want to stay below that, but it hits its magnitude. But it looks like the memes might be finally over. So if we go to Zscaler, inside month to the downside, 212. Takes the magnitude of this, 186. So you'd want to stay below that, and you're handily below that right now. Just, once again, exhaustion risk. If we go to SNPS, and once again, these 3 months of sideways and then the inside month, you take all these guys out. Hits magnitude by taking out the lows of these guys. 275 is where you'd want to stay below to try and get the down, sideways, measured move. If we go to GitLab. Ugh. Think we should go public? No. Anyway, we go inside month to the downside. Here, still magnitude is going to be new lows below 30.74. So long as it's below 44.16, it's working its way there. If we go to Live Nation, and there's more opening up trade, and you can see this sideways, all this stuff for months and months and months. And then, boom, inside month to the downside, taking all these guys out in one shot. So we'll see if there's more to it in here. If we go to Coop, oof, brutal. This has just been brutal. And inside month down again. Below this, 83.50, looking to take this out. 64.79, you're working on it right now. We know Bitcoin's been coming down, and that gives you SI. And here you can see this, boom, 2 up, 2 down reversal. Then these 4 months here, then the inside month, and then boom, come down, take these guys out. So the hopes is you get this, down, sideways, measured move, and crush it. And staying below 84.54, it's sitting right around there right now. So the thing about, the upside is just like stuff like Kellogg's. Anybody taking out last month's highs, and so that tells you XLP here, which is not really doing that. And General Mills, I believe, is. No, not quite. So RCII, this is how thin this is on things taking out last month's highs. This is Rev Strat month, though. Inside, down, up. But, EXPD, that's 2-2 reversal month. So you got a few of them there, but on a monthly basis, you're really having some struggles here. And, that would have to change. So there's your hit list for the downside if we continue to hit. You want to know that level for the Qs, right, for the rest of the year, right? That's the great thing about yearly signals is that they're good all year. Once you're below that, or if you're jumping around it, right now, but when people say, it can't go any lower, I'm like, what we've seen is so many 2-2 reversals on the year, especially in the NASDAQ, that if the NASDAQ itself starts doing that, things could accelerate. So that's going to do it for today. I'm Rob Smith, Smith Black, the Strat Attack.